This man is the CEO of $1 million tech firm, yet he got caught cheating on the kiss cam at a Coldplay concert. His name? Andy Byron. Well, next to him, the HR boss. And now everyone's asking, why do people betray trust when everything is on the line? Now, imagine you're the head of a tech unicorn, right? Trusted by your team, looked up by your kids, and under the spotlight at a stadium concert, you're caught on a kiss cam cheating with your HR staff. Well, that's what happened to Andy Byron. When the Coldplay Jumbotron flipped to Andy and Kristin, millions witnessed something embarrassing. Andy Byron hugging Kristin Cabot, the company's chief people officer. They froze under the stadium lights. He ducked, she covered her face. Even, Chris Martin, the lead singer of Coldplay, joked, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. Within hours, the video hit 46 million views as the video and memes flooded timelines. This wasn't just a viral spectacle, it was a character test live in front of the world. Luke 8:17 says, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. No amount of money, status, success can protect you from exposure when your character is corrupt. That's why integrity matters more than one's image. How does someone go from a trusted leader to a public punchline so quickly? Andy Byron arrived at Astronomer in July 2023 to build a data infrastructure empire. He is married to his wife Megan. They have 2 children. His public persona was polished, a visionary CEO preaching trust and values. Kristin Cabot was named CPO in November 2024 and was tasked with building culture, coaching leaders, and enforcing workplace integrity. Did I say that too fast? Let me repeat it again for the people in the back and in case you missed what I said. Kristin was brought in to enforce workplace integrity. And now she's the face of HR failure. She got caught on a Coldplay's concert Jumbotron, embracing a married CEO and undercutting every principle that she got hired to enforce and promote. What followed after the camera landed on them was, immediate and brutal. Byron deleted his LinkedIn, his wife removed her name and then deactivated her Facebook account. And here's some data from a study done by Good Therapy, SHRM, and a large Viacom study. Absorb them. 85% of affairs kick off in the workplace. 40% of those affairs betray current partners. 60% of adults have had romantic or sexual relationships at work. 31% of all affairs involve co-workers, and 52% of US workers have experienced workplace romance. And why is that? Simple. Proximity, shared pressure, and emotional bonding. You spend more time with your coworkers than you do with your spouses. You laugh, you build things together, you fall into each other. That's why 1 in 5 employees admitted infidelity with a coworker. You don't need to, search for a trend. It's in your office. The kiss cam, it doesn't lie. Neither do the public accounts or digital trails. So when you gamble with your image and your honor, you've already lost. Now I want to talk about character collapse for a second. Andy Byron didn't slip. He dove. Kristin Cabot didn't misstep. She fully engaged. This was a fundamental betrayal. They didn't just cheat on their spouses. They cheated on their children, on their teams, on every person who trusted them. Proverbs 11:3 warns, the integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Leaders aren't just chairs in a boardroom. They embody values every day. The Jumbotron confrontation, it wasn't just embarrassing. It was proof that they couldn't live by their preachings. Now, the sad part is that the damage ripples. Megan Byron and their 2 children, they're being publicly humiliated. Megan stood by him, ran the home, believed in him, while he risked it all during a Coldplay concert. Hebrews 13:4 reminds us marriage is honorable among all. Breaking it dishonors not just yourself, but the covenant. My final take is this. Andy Byron's case wasn't just some office romance gone sideways. It was a full-blown collapse of character from the man who's supposed to be leading one of the biggest tech companies in the world. And he was doing this with the head of human resource, the very person who's supposed to uphold workplace integrity. Like, WTF? Andy Byron always talked about values, trust, and leadership, when in reality, he has none of it. What kind of an example is he for his employees, for his children, for the families who work at Astronomer and believe their workplace stood for something more than office hookups and corporate hypocrisy? This wasn't a mistake, it was always a choice. And while he and Kristin were having their affair, Megan, his wife, was waiting for her husband to come home. She raised her kids and believed in him, for crying out loud. And now thanks to, his reckless behavior, his family is being humiliated on social media. This is about more than their bullshit secret affair. It's about who these people are at the the core when no one is looking. That's when true character shows. And what we saw from Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot is a complete lack of loyalty, dignity, and respect, for the people that they hurt. To Megan and the kids, you deserve better than this. You build a life with someone who clearly forgot what loyalty and respect even means. May God bless you with finding inner peace. And to all the cheaters out there, just know that karma is real and will eventually find you. Know that dignity lies in resisting the moments when no one is watching. And the real victory is built in hidden integrity that stands strong during temptation. The truth is, God sees what others don't. Don't wait to get caught. Confess, repent, surrender, because a kiss cam or a jumbotron, it may not get you, but karma and judgment will.